The latest monthly market trends report was just released from Realtor.com and will tell us exactly how we did in the month of December to close out 2023 and what we can expect moving forward into the new year. Now, it's no secret that home sales have declined most of last year due to rate hikes, limited supply, and what has come to be known as the lock-in effect, all contributing to the downturn in existing and pending home sales. I'm going to walk you through the latest report and break down the data for you so that you know exactly what's happening in the residential real estate market across the nation. I'm Simon, and this is the REECON Report. According to the Realtor.com monthly housing market trends report, December was the second month since June 2023 that home shoppers were able to see a larger number of unsold homes than the year prior, attributed to the ongoing growth in newly listed homes. Once mortgage rates start to decline consistently, there is a potential for a slower than expected growth in listing activities. We know that the only way to meet demand in this market is for home builders to pump out as many new construction builds at the fastest pace humanly possible. Because let's face it, current homeowners have locked themselves in and are refusing to give up the sub 3% mortgage rates, and who can blame them? So if you can't convince homeowners to sell and add more inventory to the current total available inventory on the market, then you have to create the inventory yourself. And that's what builders have been doing, which has contributed to the rise in newly listed and unsold homes for the month of December. Still, it was a good month for home sales, which by the way is unusual because typically in the wintertime, existing home sales and pending home sales are lower than they usually would be in the spring or summertime seasons, when homes tend to have more curb appeal and buyers have more time and money to spend. The winter season is a time for family, getting into the holiday spirit, going on shopping sprees and racking up credit card debt at record pace. Seldom do people consider selling their homes in the winter time, but you might be surprised to know that homeowners tend to be more motivated and buyers more serious and committed to purchasing a home, given the limited supply historically seen during the winter season. Homeowners have a much better chance of attracting a buyer at their asking price during the winter season than they would in the springtime when competition between sellers to attract the same pool of buyers starts to heat up, in turn creating a market more amenable to buyers. The total number of homes for sale, including homes that were under contract but not yet sold, increased by 3.6% compared to last year, ending a 7-month streak of annual total listing declines. 2021 to 2022 pre-rate hike were arguably the hottest years we had on record for the real estate market in the past decade. So it's quite unusual to see that December existing home sales and pending home sales together increased at a rate of 3.6% compared to the prior year. This is good news going into 2024, especially with higher mortgage rates and limited supply. It's nice to see that the demand on the buyer side remains healthy and strong enough to push markets higher in the new year. According to the most recent research, inventory of homes actively for sale was down 24% to 49% from pre-pandemic levels. Newly listed homes increased by 6% compared to the previous year in December. Again, builders are pumping out homes as fast as they can. Inventory increased the most in the West, Northeast, and South with 7.6%, 7%, and 6.9% growth respectively. It's obvious that the builders are trying desperately to catch up to the demand and take advantage of the consistently high home prices, where they can actually turn a decent profit and continue to reinvest in building more homes. Let's take a look at which markets have been winners and which have been hit the hardest. We can usually tell this by tracking the number of days a home has been listed on the market prior to going under contract or closing. You'll often see this metric when you're cruising Zillow, Trulia, or Realtor.com and you notice that little number indicating average days on market or DOM. The typical home spent 61 days on the market this December, which is 4 days shorter than the same time last year and around 2 weeks or 16 days, less than the average for December from 2017 to 2019, which is pre-pandemic levels. which is the benchmark that we're going after because pre-pandemic was some of the best years in real estate and the most stable. In 39 of the 50 largest metro areas, the time a home spent on the market has decreased compared to the prior year, with Las Vegas being one of the hottest markets with a decrease of about 19 days. Following that is Phoenix with a decrease of 16 days and Sacramento by 11 days. Housing markets that trended in the opposite direction, where homes stayed on the market for longer durations of time than they have in the past, include Austin, San Francisco, Denver, New Orleans, and Seattle. These 5 regions saw an increase in the amount of time spent on the market more than the typical pre-pandemic levels, making these the slowest real estate markets to date. Now, hopefully they see an uptick in the upcoming spring season, but I think this is very telling of the direction of the housing market for these regions going into 2024. Overall, home prices remain strong and stable nationwide, with price reductions decreasing in December from the same time last year. In fact, the decline in price reductions is seen as on par with 2017 to 2019 pre-pandemic levels. Again, this is our benchmark. The national median list price declined seasonally to $410,000 from $420,000 in November. The median list price remained relatively stable compared to the same time last year, growing by 1.2%. Buoyed by scarce inventory and while new home sales have been increasing, construction activity isn't elevated enough to fully bridge the low inventory gap. The builders are trying, but they're just not quite there yet. Inventory is still scarce and demand still remains high. Annual median list prices grew at a national rate of 4.3%, with the largest growing list price per square foot being in the Los Angeles areas at 10.5%, Cleveland at 9.3%, followed by Pittsburgh and Richmond. Only in San Jose and San Antonio did the median price per square foot decline. Okay, here's the bottom line. Home prices remain stable, albeit elevated since the prior year, with no signs of cooling off in 2024, even though mortgage rates remain on the rise. The number of homes for sale was notably higher in December of 2023 compared to the prior year, thanks to home builders pumping out new construction builds at a faster pace in order to meet demand. Home sellers were unseasonably more active, and homes on the market spent less time than they did the prior year before they went under contract. All of these are significant indicators of a healthy residential real estate market, which is more than I can say for the commercial real estate sector and the economy as a whole. That's all I have for you today. As always, please like and subscribe so you can stay notified as I bring you the most up-to-date information in the world of real estate and economics. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, where I upload new content periodically to keep you informed on what's happening on Wall Street, Main Street, and in the Federal Reserve, so you can better navigate the housing market and your money.